Howdy, hey everybody. Can you hear me okay? Am I audible? Aw, thank you, thank you. This is actually not even a new one. This is one I've had for a while. I just don't use it very much. Because I'm never quite sure how I feel about this one. It's good for the whole theme of it being a pajama party, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's cute. I know it's cute, but I don't know. I don't know. So, how is everyone's morning going, or evening, or afternoon, or whatever your time zone may be? How's it going? So far so good on my end, my friend. So far so good. I'm just trying to keep busy and keep my head in the game while I wait for my house to calm down a bit so I can get back to working on audios, because this time of day is this weird time for my house where there's stuff going on and noise happens at random. So I don't like to try to work on audios during this time of day because I never know when I'm going to get interrupted by a sudden noise or a lot of noise or just any kind of noise. Hello, air conditioner. How are you doing? Good morning, people. For those of you who it is also morning. And just a heads up, get used to me streaming a little bit more, both on here and as Orky on Twitch, because Husbando goes away on his deployment for like 6 to 8 months, starting in a couple of weeks. And after he leaves, I'm going to be very lonely and deprived of human contact. So I like to stream because it gives me the illusion of human contact, as because of a certain panorama bing dong going on, I can't interact with friends or anything in real life, so streaming's really all I got going for me in terms of real-time human contact, you know? I've thought about doing gameplays. I might make a second gaming channel, even though I know maybe 5 people will subscribe to it. But I'm not much of a gamer, and I've heard of that game. Never played it, but I've heard of it, so I don't know. My speed of game right now is more like visual novels and creative mode in Minecraft. And by creative mode, I mean just spawn a bajillion different animals all at once and make an army for no reason other than I like to make animals happen. Thanks y'all, thanks y'all. It's going to be rough. while he's away. It's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be quite as bad as last year, or like when he left last year. Because now I kind of know what to expect, even though I won't be able to visit him where he's going, like I could where he went before. And the time zone difference is going to be even worse where he's going, so we won't be able to talk as much. But regardless, I know what to expect, so I won't be as, like, out of sorts as I was last time. I still will be out of sorts because it's going to just be a huge sudden shift in my routine again and shift in my life, but it won't be quite as bad. And I do have plans. Like, there's going to be things that are going to be coming up that's going to keep me busy. My family, we're going to be going away for a week in November. We're going to Disneyland for a week. And yeah, I know you're all gonna judge me because we're currently in the panorama going on, but like from what I've heard from friends of mine who work in that line of work, theme parks are probably some of the safest places you could go during this time because of just how clean they keep everything and how organized they keep the crowds and such. Like, basically, like, I have a friend who works at a rival theme park in California, and he says with how clean and orderly they keep things, you know, it's probably safer to go to a theme park than it is to go to, like, your local shopping mall right now. My thoughts go out to your cousin Alex. I hope he comes back okay and everything's good. My family is really into the whole Disney thing. Like, we used to go to Disney World in Florida pretty often. So, we haven't been in a while. Like, we haven't been to the Florida park since, like, 2016, which is kind of rare for us to go that long without going to a Disney park. But, like, life got in the way, as did money things. So we're going to be doing the California park this time because so much has changed since we last been to the California side of the Disney stuff. So we want to see what's going on over there. And then if things don't go back to complete doo-doo, we also have tentative plans to do the Florida parks in June of next year for Little Fox's birthday, to celebrate that and to see what's new in the Florida side of Disney World. Do I like foxes? Let's see. Do I like foxes? Do I like foxes? I mean, I have a fox right here, so one can only assume that I like foxes. I also have a buttload of kitsune characters. Why would I make kitsune characters if I didn't like foxes? Red pandas are nice too, yes. I do like me the red pandas. Of course, now when I think Red Panda, I think like Pabu from Legend of Korra or Shifu from Kung Fu Panda. Hey Spring, how you doing, friend? I don't know why, but I have like a random mini headache going on right now. It's like a weird little. There's like it's like I'm aware there's like a tiny bit of a headache going on, and I don't know what caused it. Maybe I just need to drink more of my sippy sippy. That might be it. I might just need more sippy sippy. Oh, definitely not lack of sleep. The past several days I've gotten like a buttload of sleep. Like probably too much sleep, to be honest. It is a bit rumbly where I am right now. I don't know if it's gonna full on rain or not, but it's rumbling. Well, I'm also getting over an infection in my bladder that went up to my kidney that I got medicine for. So that also made it so I was very sleepy for a while. Oh, thanks y'all, thanks y'all. But yeah, so over the weekend I did a little staycation with the husbando in in the nearby city to us. We got a hotel room and we just hung out together and enjoyed each other's company. And I spent most of our little staycation just asleep in the hotel bed. He could not wake me up. He just couldn't. Like I'd wake up for like a second and then roll over, and he could not get me up until it was time to eat dinner. And then we got back from dinner, and I rolled back over and went back to sleep. Oh, thank you, Oshinigami. Oh, thank you, Kizur. Nice to see you. And it's weird. I'm conflicted because part of why I usually limit my streams to Orky's Twitch is I am like hyper aware of the fact that people don't sub to me on YouTube to watch me stream. They just come here for the ASMR role plays and stories and such, and then just want to bounce. They don't come here for like interacting with me as a person, you know? They're here for like the fantasies, if that makes any sense. So it boggles my mind that even just a few of you are here to like talk to me as me, the human being I am, behind the characters and the stories and such. It's a little mind-boggling to me, actually. But yeah, like I said earlier, I enjoy real-time interaction because with the panorama, I can't really get that from my IRL friends. Plus, they're all like uber adults and always busy, so I never really get to talk to them much anyway, even online. It's kind of weird, actually. I have like a fair amount of friends in real life, but because we're all like adults and are between being in late 20s to late 30s, we all have like jobs and relationships and kids and things like that that keep us busy, so we don't have much time for friend stuff. And then a chunk of my close friends are in the performing arts as like a hobby slash side hustle. So they're busy with that too, and I try to be supportive of that, but it's not like I can always make their shows and such. Especially now with the panorama, they're doing virtual shows pretty much every other weekend. I can't make them all, let alone promote them all. It's just like, it's too much, man. That's too much, man. One of my IRL friends has been not annoying me lately, and not even frustrating per se, just mildly perturbing me, I think is the best way to put it. Just mildly perturbing. In that she's been pinning a lot of things going on in her life lately on her ethnicity. And in the way she talks about it, it's a bit much. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I feel this way because, you know, historically, yada yada. And I'm like, okay, I get that, I feel that. But then to bring in things like, you know, it's like, I have to do this much work because of my ethnicity. Meanwhile, people of this other ethnicity can just be mediocre and get the same results. And I'm like, do you really have to poke that beehive? Do you really gotta do that, honey? Because if you're wondering why you're not getting opportunities, if people see posts like that, that's might contribute as to why. Not many folks are fans of those who like to regularly poke the beehives, if that makes any sense. Catch you later, lemon candy. Enjoy school. Well, in her case, it's not so much employers, it's more so stuff in her performing arts side hustle. Like, in terms of, like, producers who put on shows and such, and promoters and whatnot. If, like, the promoter or the producer is of the group that you are complaining about, yeah, they may not be so inclined to want to talk to you or invite you to be part of their programs and shows, you know? Because you're poking the beehive. not saying that there aren't some things going on in her life that her ethnicity isn't, like, hindering her from. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's things that the fact that, because of, systems in place and whatnot, that, and prejudices people may have, that, yeah, of course, that may be going on. But I don't think it applies to every single little thing, if that makes sense. I think some of it may just be because she tends to go a little bit on too far and poke at things that she could very well leave alone, and may very well actually have some improvements happen to her. Thanks, y'all. Again, this is not a new model. I've had it for like a while now. I just don't use it that much. Probably because initially when I got this model, I only had PRPR Live, and the tracking on that program is very limited. But now that I figured out how to use VTube Studio and load this model onto it, it works better. So now I might be using this more often for Kitti streams. I don't know. Once I have the money dollars, I'm looking to get a 3D model of my current Kitti avatar design that Koichi did earlier this year. Even though probably by the time it's done, it'll be the end of this year, and it'll be about time for me to work with her to create the 2022 design. Oh well. But yeah, it'd be a 3D model, because 3D models, for the most part, if I don't want too many bells and whistles, tend to be a bit more affordable than these 2D models. It's alright, man. I can't art very well either. I used to be somewhat of an artist way back when, like a decade ago. But I got burnt out and I stopped drawing regularly and lost practice, and now the most I can do is like sketch portraits of people in real life, like do like little pencil portraits. That's about the best I can do anymore. My digital art is crap, and I don't even want to see what I can do anymore with like colored pencils or markers or anything, because I'm way, way, way out of practice. Yeah, don't worry. I got your email, me friend. I'm still just trying to figure out, like, how to go about replying and with the proper explanations behind the reply. Hey, Emma. What really sucks for me is I used to be really good at, like, drawing, like, human bodies and whatnot, but I'm so out of practice now that when I do want to draw a human body, I need to look at a crap ton of references for the anatomy and the pose before I can even start even sketching it out. It's very annoying. And it's so time consuming. So time consuming. also just don't really have time to draw so much anymore. It kind of sucks. I don't have the time. Because it takes me so long anymore. I'd have to literally, like, set aside at least 3 hours just to get a basic drawing done. Not even, like, coloring or anything. Just getting the sketch to line work done. It's crazy town. Right now, I really want to get into, like, music and, like, writing songs and such. But I am learning that if I ever did have a musical bone in my body, I lost it. Which kind of stinks because I've been trying to, like, come up with a original song piece for Orky to debut, to be a little bit of a V idol kind of a thing. But I keep coming up empty when I try to come up with stuff. So yeah, if I were to put together a musical piece for Orky, I would definitely need help from people who are a bit more musically inclined to help, like, write it and put it together. It's like I can kind of sing. I'm not super well. I'd have to tune myself, but most people do that anymore anyway. But, like, actually coming up with beats and tunage and all that, and, like, that's way beyond me. Way beyond me. Orky might do a karaoke stream. Maybe not this week, 'cause I already kind of figured out what streams I want to do this week, but maybe next week. Maybe next week Orky will do a karaoke stream. And I've been kind of torn as to whether or not I should apply for VShojo, and if I should apply for VShojo as a Kitti or Orky. Probably as Orky, but, like, I don't know. They say you don't need a big following or a ton of viewers to apply for VShojo and then them take you seriously, but I think they're looking for people who already have a bit of clout, if that makes any sense. I don't think they're looking to just bring on a nobody. I have like a little bit of clout, but I have clout more so on YouTube as Kitti. Like Orky doesn't have quite nearly as much clout, which is unfortunate. And the reason why I wouldn't want to apply for VTuber or any of those groups as Kitti is because people would see my sub count, but then look at the average number of people who come to my streams and they'll be like, what's the problem with this person? Because to me, I care about like the quality of the people who watch me and interact with me while I stream, not the quantity. But I know for many people who pay attention to streamers, it's the opposite. Numbers matter. Well, in the grand scheme of things, I'm definitely not a capital somebody. At least not yet. Like with Twitch, you're not really a somebody streamer unless you make partner. And to make partner, you need to stream so many days in a month and for so many hours, and you need so many people watching you at once consecutively, which I think is over 70 people. So I think on average for people who have closer to 100 people watching them at once. So basically, if you're not a Twitch partner, you're not really a somebody on Twitch. And I think on YouTube at this point, with all the people who are growing very quickly, or at least growing very steadily, if you don't have like 100k subs or more, and not getting, at least like 100 people watching your streams if you stream, you're not really much of a somebody. If you're curious as to what the Kitti fan club is called, y'all have been the cult for a few years now. When just nice casually talking is the Kitti community, like Kitti community combined, and then when you want to be just a little bit silly, it's the cult. The Discord server made it so a few years ago. Now, a big part of why I would love to be part of VShojo is that, like, they clearly don't discriminate against streamers who have a history in the adult line of work. Because it's like, look at Melody. She got her start doing not very say-so streaming. Her start was not on Twitch, I'll leave it at that. Catch you later, Spring. Thanks for popping by and making everything all nice and cheerful. Appreciate you. Mwah. Sippy sippy. So yeah, so basically, if by some miracle I auditioned for VShojo and they picked me, it would be like an incredible honor because like of my background in the adult industry and feeling a bit ostracized because of it, to be embraced by a well-known group in spite of that fact would be very, very nice. Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely very dumb to judge people for making adult and mature content. It's really, really dumb. Yet all the time, people lose their jobs and livelihoods because it comes out that they, you know, not even did anything for money, but they, shared nudes with a partner and it got out, or in the case of what happened during the pandemic, a lot of people made like OnlyFans pages, not even doing anything explicit, just to like post lewds and nudes, and it cost people their regular jobs. It's really dumb. Well, Nico, the people you mentioned, they were already famous before they did like adult stuff. So the adult stuff just kind of boosted their notoriety because people were waiting for something adult from them to happen. And so when it did, it just kind of just fueled the fire around them. The only thing about like the adult industry that I find kind of gross is when like people wait for like famous underage influencers to turn 18 and then release adult content. That's a that's a bit creepy to me. Just a wee bit creepy. It's like the person's brain chemistry didn't suddenly change just because it became some arbitrary time and date on a calendar, you know? So if I recall correctly, based on science, the brain isn't fully developed, I think, until someone's in their like early to mid 20s. Hello, hello. Day's going alright. Day's going alright. How about you? Yeah, yeah. Bad Baby made a ton of money on OF. And I think she made it within a week of turning 18. And someone pointed out that some of the content she put up on her OF, basing on the timing of when that content was taken, it could not have been taken after she turned 18. So that's kind of problematic. Oh, awesome. I hope you enjoy your concert there. Oh, I love you too, my friend. Yeah, I haven't been to a concert in a really, really long time. I can barely remember the last one I went to. Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering. Part of me says it was Rammstein, but that was a really long time ago. I'd like to think I'd been to one since then. Yeah, yeah, I definitely miss conventions too, like, for sure. Though, come to think of it, like, conventions even before the panorama were pretty big cesspools of infections. I, I know, I used to come home from conventions several times, sick with something, as did, like, my friends and whatnot, so hopefully this panorama will teach convention goers and people who host them better ways to keep things a bit cleaner and more sanitary and safer. Last concert I remember vividly going to was a band called Rammstein. They're German, and that was like 2012, 2013, something like that. I learned of Rammstein back in like the 90s, late 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. When I saw an anime music video done with Neon Genesis Evangelion, where Asuka was lip syncing the words, the guy's words, to Engel, and Shinji was doing the girl parts, and it was very funny. But I also thought the song was awesome, so I wanted to know who the band was, and I went down that rabbit hole from there. Have I played Silent Hill? No, but I've watched people play it. I'm not really into spooky games very much. I might play a few on Twitch as Orky in October for Spooky Month, but I'm not really a spooky game kind of person. Because I have, like, really bad anxiety and I get prone to nightmares. I've heard of that game. I've heard of Fear, but I have not played it. I really have not played very many games yet still. I've dabbled in a few, and that's been about it. A reason I've been enjoying playing visual novels where I can turn off the built-in voices and voice them myself is because it just gets pretty funny with the different voices I come up with for the characters. And then when I like stumble over the words, it gets funny. Even if the game's supposed to be kind of serious, it gets funny. Though I did promise Husbando that I wouldn't play Ditzy Demons Are in Love with Me again on a YouTube stream without him. So if you YouTube friends want more of the Ditzy Demons and the lewdness, you'll have to wait for him to come back from his current training trip. He should be back on like Friday night or something. So maybe this upcoming weekend we'll be on stream playing it again, and with him voicing the MC and the MC's thoughts and me doing all the girls. I got Danganronpa. I got it. I have to figure out which one's the first one, but I got it, and I do plan on playing it. What got me into visual novels was, for one thing, Husbando was playing one while he was on his last deployment and would not, like, shut up about it. So I became aware of it. And then, I have a love-hate thing with Doki Doki Literature Club. Like, I attempted to play it once, years ago, on a stream for my Patreon. And we got to the first bit of a badness in the game that's triggering, and we all decided, we're not gonna play this anymore. It's a little too heavy for our particular group. So I shelved that game and didn't touch it since. And then I decided, a couple weeks ago on Twitch, I would try Doki Doki again, feeling like, hey, maybe a new crowd, people won't be as sensitive, and I'm not as sensitive as I used to be, so we can probably get through this. And we did. We got through Doki Doki. And doing the voices for the characters was very amusing for me. And I realized if other visual novels are like that, where I can do voices for them, then that makes it fun for me. Because I don't just like reading for the sake of reading. I don't like things where it's just reading. That's boring. But if I can do funny voices, well, hell yeah, I will do those funny voices. Oh, so the thing with Patreon is it came from within. It came within people who already had joined and basically figured out a way to keep accessing new content even after they leave the Patreon. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to take new measures to keep that from being a thing they can do. I know how to do that. It's just gonna make things inconvenient for everybody else, which sucks. But I know how to do that. Hey Matthew, it's going good, going good. I got a mild headache, but I'm doing all right. How are you doing? If I could give advice to someone wanting to start a visual novel on YouTube, what would give you starting out? As in playing it or making one? You gotta be a little bit more specific. Honey Pop is such a fun, silly game. It really sucks that places don't like you streaming it or playing it. Especially because the version I believe that's on Steam right now is like censored. So like why not be able to play it? Cuz it's incredibly silly. Why can't people just play silly games? Well, I took my meds for the infection, so I'm not in as much pain. Same for the painkiller. So I'm also a little loopy from that. And I'm not as sleepy as I was, probably because I pretty much slept for like 3 days straight. Pretty crazy. And I just got a little bit of a headache. And just a heads up, my roleplay uploads they're gonna be sporadic. I'm not someone who can set a schedule and keep them. I tried before, and all schedules do for me is it leads to burnout and stress, and I don't want to have that hanging over my head when I want to be creative and make stuff. So role plays will come as they come, basically, as I am inspired to make them and have the ability to do so. about making visual novels, since I've never really made one myself, I don't really know how to advise someone on that. Basically, come up with a story you think would be engaging and other people would enjoy, and get feedback from other people. Like, bring up your story idea to other people, see what they think, and come up with diverse and dynamic characters and see how they mesh in with your story universe and go from there. Of course, you can ask kisses. Mwah. Mwah. Fun fact, if I ever hit my highest goal on Patreon, Koichi and I were going to make a visual novel slash dating sim featuring my characters and scenarios and stories and such. But it'll probably never get there. As the goal for that is to have at least 1,000 consistent patrons, at least. Because that way that'd be enough money that I could afford to pay Koichi for the art, and she could also in turn find artists who can follow her art style to help work with her. And I could find someone to help put the game together. So far since its inception, I haven't been able to get more than like 300 something patrons, which is a bit sad because there's people with the like similar sub count as me, maybe a little more, who have like double that at least. And if so, I have no lofty ideals of ever hitting over 1K because it's probably just not going to happen. But yeah, I would need to get, a fair amount of backing and support for such a game to happen. Because I currently don't have the amount of clout to do a Kickstarter for it. Maybe if I ever hit a 100k subs on here, that might be enough clout to do a Kickstarter. But the downside to 100k subs on here would mean YouTube would scrub my channel, because that's what they do when you hit 100k. They decide to verify your channel when you hit 100k, and before they verify it, they scrub it. And they'll probably find stuff they don't like and will leave the channel, which I don't want to happen, which is why I kind of don't want to hit 100k subs. Not without making sure my channel is backed up like tenfold. Koichi's been doing alright. She's just been a bit busy with life and her family and such, and she's been, busy with some of her other hobbies that don't strain her carpal tunnel, and doing things slowly but surely. Here's a question for you lot. What do you think about audio ASMR slash voice acting channels where you can tell that, like, they intentionally stole the art for their thumbnails? It's not like a whole, like, it's not like how I used to do it where I absentmindedly would just scroll Pinterest and I assumed it was on Pinterest, it was, you know, fair game, which I know now is not the case, but I can't change the past, you know. I can't go back and redo all those videos. I just can't. But I've learned, obviously. If my new thumbnails are anything to go by, I've learned. But I mean, like, people who intentionally will, like, go through an artist page and be like, "Oh, this art's nice," yoink, and use that for their thumbnails. And I also find mild amusement when I see, like, this same art in, like, multiple different people's video thumbnails. The thing is, it's publicity if people credit the artist. The problem of when I found art on Pinterest is that there was no indication of who the artist was. And very rarely was the art even, like, watermarked or signed legibly. So it was really hard to credit anybody. Because I've noticed there's a lot of just art jacking going on without crediting any artist or linking to, at least linking to a source. It's like, oh, hey, I found this here. Which I probably should have done. I probably should have linked to the Pinterest page I found my old stuff on, but, like, I didn't think about that at the time because I was a bit naive. But you live and you learn. And back in the day, part of my thing with commissioning art for thumbnails and such was that I was extremely loyal to Koichi. And while I did sometimes commission art from other artists, it was more like one-off kind of things that weren't really meant to be thumbnails or anything, just little side arts that I usually shared on Patreon or whatever, just for my own enjoyment. But I felt really loyal to Koichi, to the point where it's like, if I commission another artist to do character designs and thumbnail art for me, I'd feel guilty, like I was betraying her. Which I then wound up having to do anyway when she couldn't really draw anymore, and she gave me her blessing to go find other artists to work with. Oh man, okay, so someone tried to get on me for the fact that a lot of the ladies in my thumbnails since like January have all had like relatively big booba. They're like, why can't you have different body types with like smaller booba and such? And it's like, because I've noticed if your thumbnail has an anime character, an anime lady, with little to no booba, for some reason YouTube reads that as being like a child character and turns your comments off. But if they see that there is obvious booba, they don't turn your comments off. So I'm aware from other people I know who do this on YouTube that Big Booba has its own problems if you're monetized, in that if your thumbnail is seen as having too big booba, YouTube may demonetize the video. But I don't have that problem because I'm not monetized. My aim is to just not get my comments turned off. Hola, I'm doing alright. How are you doing? You doing good? Is it more interesting to draw male or female characters? Well, for me, it's easier to draw female characters just because, like, the body proportions all kind of line up in a way that's easier to draw. And especially in terms of how the shapes all sync together. Male characters can be a bit more complicated. I can draw both, but especially when I do like realism, like realistic sketches and whatnot. But when it comes to like anime style, I tend to do better drawing anime lady characters. But when I do my more cartoony style that I did back when I did animation, I could do both, and my male characters actually look better in my cartoony style. Karaoke WAP. Is that song? Is it that song? Because I don't think I'd be able to karaoke that. I think no matter what platform I did, that would get me kicked off. Man, I am so tired of hearing about Jake Paul. Oh, random tangent that just popped into my mind. Have I ever told you all the story of how a friend of mine and I predicted the Disney Jungle Cruise movie? Because we called it. We predicted it back in fall of 2017. And I don't think the movie was even announced as being an idea until sometime in like 2018 with the casting ideas announced then too. Because not only did my friend and I say that there was going to be a Jungle Cruise movie soon, but we predicted that one of the leads would be The Rock. And it happened. So we're thinking that that little podcast my friend and I did that still exists in the bowels of the internet somewhere, that someone from Disney listened to it and they're like, oh hey, we like this idea. We'll make a Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock. Just a random little tangent. I just think it's very funny that my friend and I like totally predicted the Jungle Cruise movie. The only prediction of ours that didn't happen was that the Scaredy Cat character was played by someone else and not played by Jake Paul. Though to be fair, when we made the initial prediction, Jake Paul was still employed by Disney and was still working on one of their TV shows. So if he didn't done goof and lose Disney's good graces, who's to say he could have been in the movie? I saw the Jungle Cruise movie not too long ago, and it's actually pretty great. It's actually really great. Especially if you're familiar with the ride from the Disney parks. If you are, then like the first like 15 minutes or so of the movie are an absolute delight. I just wish at this point Jake Paul would just go away. Like, that'd be nice. Like, just the Paul brothers themselves. Just go away. Go away. Fun fact, there already was a Tower of Terror movie way back when. I think it was in like the early to mid 2000s. And it was actually pretty silly. How to take out Jake Paul for good? Don't give him attention. Don't watch him. Don't do anything that gives him money. And then he'll become irrelevant and disappear. If he does something that should make like news, ignore him. Don't give him attention. Who's my celebrity crush? Oh dang. Probably Misha Collins. He's an actor on Supernatural, and he's really great. He's also an amazing philanthropist. He does so much charity work, and it's really inspiring. You don't know who Jake Paul is? Good. Good. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. I'm probably like dating myself right now, but do any of you remember a blog called Hyperbole and a Half by a girl named Allie Brosh? She released a book and recently released another one. Her blog used to be my go-to happy place because, like, her content was not only relatable, it was also very funny. I want a movie or a TV show where Harley Quinn is played by Harley Quinn. And by that I mean played by Harley Quinn Smith, who is Kevin Smith's daughter. Because that would be kind of amazing. Like, if they ever made an animated Legend of Zelda movie, I would love for Robin Williams' daughter, Zelda Williams, to voice Zelda. Because that would also be great. I think Harley Quinn Smith is in college now, if I recall correctly. She's getting up there. She's an adult, I believe. Wait, there's gonna be Matrix 4? Please say no. Please say there's not gonna be Matrix 4. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn make the best couple. The best couple. I'm a little sad that Keanu Reeves wasn't cast as Spike in the live action Cowboy Bebop. Because that was a casting people were wanting to happen for like a decade. So it's a little sad that it's not happening. Oh, that's disheartening. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of things cashing in on nostalgia and whatnot. I thirst. I hunger for some new, fresh ideas. Even if they're not very good, I like novelty. I like things that are new and different and exciting. Or if you're gonna cash in on something old, have it be something really old that people that are like my age don't even remember anyway. Like, kind of like Mad Max. Like, Mad Max Fury Road was amazing. And it's because people my age were only vaguely familiar with the original Mad Max. And it took the original Mad Max concept and really just plussed it up and made it better. So if you do something like that, then I can appreciate that. Is there going to be any more Mad Max movies? Like, particularly one that's just about Furiosa? Because I'd watch the crap out of a Furiosa movie. Am I the only one who noticed that Disney, like, stealthily redid their Pocahontas movie when they made Moana? Because a lot of the story beats in both movies are incredibly similar. Like, incredibly similar. So I like that idea too. Like, if a movie didn't really work out the first time you did it, or did not age well, then take those beats and redo it better. I like that. I like that idea too. Like, do that too, Hollywood. That's a good idea. Man, I gotta wait for 2023 for Furiosa. That'd be almost like 10 years after the last Mad Max movie. Hey, Chance 5, how you doing? Well, we're happy to have you here now. Haha. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta answer something. Do I know what Reddit is? I know what Reddit is. I am a old lady of the internet. I just don't really use Reddit myself because I don't have time to keep up with all that stuff. Good vibes to you as well, Nathan. Good vibes to you as well. I know, good golly. Has it been an hour and a half already? Because it is after 10 my time, and it seems like the house has finally settled down. Which means I can take a little something for this headache and maybe get back to working on some audios if you all would like. Your choice. Me stay on stream longer or me hop off and maybe try to work on more audios. It's your choice, really. I keep hanging out for a bit more or I can pop off. Either or. I've been well, my friend. I've been well. How have you been? Yeah, if I do work on audios, I will need to probably pop an Advil or something. Alas. So I do feel like I've been a bit behind on the audio front. Just depends. Would you all want 3 audios today, or will you all be satisfied there's only 2? Because if I start now, I could probably finish up 3 to go live today. But if I stay on with you guys a bit longer, then I would have time to whip up 2. Well, for the infection, I'm on meds, and they like to make me queasy, but that can't be helped. Okay, regardless, I do think I need to BRB for a sec, because no matter what I do, I think I need to go take some headache medicine. So I shall be right back. So, did I miss anything while I went on my noble quest to find stuff for my headache? Talking about apocalypse stuff, huh? Ooh, you finished Breaking Bad? Well, what'd you think of it? Did you like it? I remember Breaking Bad. How's the stroke taste? I remember when Breaking Bad was like first on, and like just all the hype around it. It was pretty crazy. I guess it would just depend with in terms of a visual novel. It would depend like the story and whatnot and the character dynamics. doing well. How about you? The fuss about Breaking Bad was that it was something that hit close to home for a lot of Americans. Because, in case you don't know, the healthcare system in America, unless you are very, very well off, even in that case, you may still run into issues. But the healthcare system in America is crap. So, unless things change, the premise of Breaking Bad could very well be a reality for some family in the future. It hit close to a lot of Americans. And it's like, oh crap, that one day could be me, kind of a thing. And then as the story progressed, it became like a train wreck that people couldn't look away from. And the basic premise of it is something that's kind of a universal story that speaks to people all over the world, actually. Like a seemingly good man going down a dark path for what is seemed to be the right reasons, only for the dark path to in turn turn him dark as well, and lead him down just a downward spiral to his demise. I had a friend who cosplayed as Heisenberg at conventions, and he would pass out rock candy that was blue. It was very amusing. I saw bits and pieces of Mr. Robot. I need to actually go back and really watch it. I never really have time to watch things. It's kind of a bummer. Or when I do have time, I don't have the attention span. I remember Rami Malek when I first saw him in the first Night at the Museum movie, where he played that like Egyptian pharaoh guy, and I thought he was just like the dreamiest thing ever. Oh, the little fox over here is supposed to represent my baby little fox, but she's actually not here right now. She's with my in-laws, getting some quality grandparent time. Exactly. House is finally calmed down where I could be working on audios. It's pretty great. As for what is G Fuel, G Fuel, if I recall correctly, it's this like powdered supplement that you can like mix with water or whatever, and it supposedly has like energy stuff in it. It's basically like a powdered energy drink kind of a thing. Where's Ruby? Like, what do you mean, where's Ruby? Like, she's not gonna be in the stream, my friend. I believe ASMR stands for, I think it's Auto Sensory Meridian Response. Yeah, autonomous sensory meridian response. Yeah, and it was like auto something. Oh, thank you, Vincent. Appreciate you. Oh, Seth, you think I could do a good Blake Belladonna? I'll have to get a little more caught up with Ruby then, because I haven't seen Ruby in quite a bit of time. So I'm not as familiar with the characters as I once was a long time ago. I heard after, I think it was season 5, I think it was, that Ruby went downhill. At least that's what I heard from friends of mine who are like really, really into it. On the subject of anime, I'm like almost caught up with the Beastars, at least what's come out in America. Because Beastars is nice. Catch you later, Nico. Sleep well. Headline recommendations? As in light novel? Ooh, Spicy Wolf is good stuff. Definitely good stuff. Is anything new going on with you all? Hello, hello, not food. Yes, I hope you get better, Nathan. Hope you're. I hope you heal up soon and heal up well. Hello, Jen Lisa. Oh, I love y'all too. Very much so. Well, everybody, I've been on for a good 2 hours or so. And now that my headache medicine's kicked in, there's some stuff I'd like to get done today. So I'm afraid I'll have to bid you all adieu for now. But I will be streaming later on Twitch as Orky. Probably going to be doing some comfy live binaural ASMR. And that should be either as early as 5 p.m. Central Standard US time or as late as 7:30 p.m. Central Standard US time. And it just depends on how the day goes. So sorry people who just joined, but I have been on for a while. I may do Yonder Kitsune ASMR again in the future, but I don't know when. I've got other ideas I need to work on. So hopefully I'll have some new audios up today. And if you want to watch me stream, catch my Orky stream on Twitch. And I will see you all later. Okie dokie. Remember, I love you all and to stay awesome.